Hi, today we're going to be making one of my favorite recipes, stuffed bell peppers. And I'm going to throw a twist at the end of the video, so be sure you watch the whole thing. Today on Flavorsville. Let's get started. The first thing I'm going to do is tell you the ingredients. Now understand that I am cutting this recipe in half because I'm only going to do 3 peppers because it's just Kim and I. But the recipe calls for 6. It calls for 2 pounds of hamburger. I use 80-20. 2 cups of rice. A teaspoon of garlic powder. A teaspoon of salt. I use kosher. A teaspoon of Lee & Perrins Worcestershire sauce. An 8 ounce. Now that I've cleaned up the tomato sauce that you just watched me spill all over myself, again, an 8-ounce can of tomato sauce, 15-ounce can of stewed tomatoes, and then I also use a teaspoon of Badia Complete Seasoning. Now, if you don't know what Badia Complete Seasoning is, I order it on Amazon. I get it in these larger containers because I use it in a lot of my recipes. But it's just a blend of actually Cuban spices that just really adds a lot of flavor to the dish. However, I want to caution you, it does have some MSG in it. So if you do have some issues with MSG, then just leave it out, no problem. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to combine our stuffing ingredients. Now I have gone ahead and browned my hamburger meat. I didn't figure you wanted to sit there and watch me brown hamburger meat. I also added the onion into that as well, which I left out. You do use 1 whole onion. I chopped it and just threw it in and cooked it with my hamburger meat. So I'm going to add that to the bowl. I'm going to add my rice. I'm going to go ahead and get this raw hamburger meat out of the way. Now, I'm not going to add any more seasoning to the meat because I seasoned it to taste as I was cooking it. And I just used salt, pepper, garlic, and some complete seasoning when I was browning the meat. I'm going to add my tomato sauce. And then I'm just going to mix. Okay, and now we're ready to stuff our peppers. Before we can stuff our peppers, we've got to cut them. So what I do is I just cut the top off, like so. And then I just go and cut the membrane. Pull the core out, dump the seeds, and then I also go in and just pull out any more membrane that is in the pepper. Okay, so it's ready to be stuffed. Now what I do with the top is I just take it, and there's all these little lines, I just cut it in those lines because I'm just cutting these into little pieces. Because I'm going to add these to my sauce. To stuff the pepper, you simply just stuff the pepper with the mixture that you made. Now I like to pack it in. Like so. Now, I have gone ahead and stuffed the other 2 peppers, and I've put them in my heavy bottomed pot. Now, normally I have to use my bigger stock pot when I have 6 peppers, but I can use this smaller pot with the 3. And so they're ready to go. So I'm going to set that pan aside, and I'm going to make my sauce that's going to go over the top. So I've already put my stewed tomatoes in a bowl, and I'm going to take and just add some of this seasoning because I've cut my recipe down, and the meat is already seasoned, so I don't want to get it over seasoned, but yet I still want to get some flavor into this sauce. Put some Lea and Perrins in there, and then some Badia. Okay, and then I'm going to simply just give this a quick stir. I'm going to add whatever is left of the meat and rice mixture, as well as my pepper tops. Give that a quick stir. And then I just simply pour it over my peppers. Okay, so now these are ready to go on the stove top. I simply just cover them and I steam them for about 30, maybe 40 minutes. And then they're pretty much ready to go. So I'm going to go ahead and put them on the stove, and then I'll come back and show you the little twist that I talked about in the beginning of the video. Now for the kicker. We're going to make a sauce that is going to bring these peppers to life. The sauce that we put in the pan with the bell peppers is basically a cooking sauce. That's the liquid and everything that steams the peppers. Now we're going to make the sauce that is just going to take this thing over the top. One thing it requires is a double boiler. Now, some of you may not know what a double boiler is, but it's a very simple way of cooking very delicate sauces. The bottom pan, you put a little bit of water in, you put it on the stove, and it comes to a boil. You put your sauce ingredients into this pan, and then what happens is the water heats up, heats the bottom of this pan, and heats what's inside of it without burning it. So if you don't have a double boiler, I would recommend that you get one. So anyway, we are going to just mix our ingredients for this sauce in the top of our double boiler. The first thing that we use is 8 ounces of sour cream. And I'm going to go ahead and make the full recipe of this sauce, because believe me, you can never have too much. So 8 ounces of sour cream, 8 ounces of tomato sauce, which I didn't spill this time, 4 tablespoons of Lea and Perrins, 3 teaspoons of soy sauce, teaspoon of kosher salt, a teaspoon of garlic powder, a teaspoon of black pepper, and a teaspoon of Badia complete seasoning, which I have both in this. And then we just give it a quick stir. Now I will stir this up some more when I put it on the stove, but I'm going to go ahead and get my water in the bottom part of my double boiler, get this thing going and get this sauce heated, and then we'll be ready to plate our peppers. So I'll be back in just a bit. Before I start plating, let me ask you a simple favor. And that is, if you liked what you saw today, please subscribe to my channel. Go ahead and ring the bell and you'll get notifications of any new videos that I post. If you want the complete recipe, it's simple. Just go to my website, flavorsville.com. I post all of my video recipes on that website, as well as I have links to all my videos. You can also find me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Pinterest. Now for the fun part. Let's plate and taste. It's pretty simple. You just take a pepper, just lay it in the center. I like to put a little rice down, just kind of makes it look pretty. And I'm going to take a little bit of my steaming sauce, some of the tomatoes and peppers in there. Just going to kind of ladle that over the top, like so. And then the piece de resistance, the sauce. This is what really brings this thing together. Simple to make, but yummy. I mean, look at that. That's a delight to behold right there. Okay, I'm simply going to take this and just kind of split it in half, like so. Let's go ahead and add a little bit more sauce. Now this is still pretty hot, so it's probably going to burn the crap out of my mouth. But we're going to give it a try anyway. Come on, cooperate. All right. Just like my daddy used to make. Of course, when I was a kid, I didn't like bell peppers, so I would take the meat and scrape it out and put some sauce on there and then still swear I could taste the bell pepper. But of course, now my taste buds have grown up and it's just simply delicious. So I hope you'll give this recipe a try. Again, remember to go to my website, get the complete recipe. And until next time, rock some flavor.